Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's your boy Ben and JB from JBM Sports Media, and today we're going to be continuing our MLB season projection series. You guys have absolutely been killing it with the views, so thank you guys so much. Just want to say that to start off. But today we are tapping into the AL East with the Tampa Bay Rays. JB, obviously we start off with the lineup. What do you think about it?
The lineup is pretty formidable. It's definitely a decent lineup. I do think that they're going to struggle, scoring runs though at some points of the season. I like the addition of Gavin Lux. Cedric Mullins is absolutely a jobber. He was awful with the Mets.
He
I'm
was.
not too sure if he's going to be. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to turn it around. You have Taylor Walls at short, Hunter Fiducia at second, at catcher. Yanni Diaz obviously a mainstay there. Jonathan Aranda has some power. I'd like to see Chandler Simpson really. Yeah, I'd like to see Chandler Simpson, utilize his bat a little bit better and just maybe get on via the hit as opposed to the walk. He does have a really great eye. He gets on base, but I like to see his contact a little bit better and get balls out of the infield. And obviously, Junior Caminero, do I have to say anything about him? This guy's a stud. Jake Fraley was really good in Cincinnati. I like the addition, of him as well. Even though there's a lot of nice additions and there's a nice complementary piece, I do think they're going to struggle offensively at points this year to score some runs.
Yeah, I think this is probably the weakest Rays team lineup-wise I've seen in some times, and that doesn't take away from guys like Junior Caminero, Jonathan Aranda, Yandy Diaz. But looking at Yandy Diaz, I could see him being a potential name if things start going south, getting traded more likely, because he was already in trade rumors in the offseason and past trade deadline. Because Gavin Lux is a very solid player, but when you look at guys like Fraley, Hunter Fiducius, Taylor Walls, I mean, there's question marks. There's a lot of question marks regarding this team. So we're going to see how they pan out. Obviously, I'm very curious to see how this lineup pans out. Junior Caminero had an incredible year last year. That's one thing to say the least. But Jonathan Aranda almost missed up to a month and a half. Obviously, he had the broken hand. And then Yandy Diaz, he looked pretty good last year. Chandler Simpson, like you said, as long as he keeps doing his, like, getting those singles that could be turned into doubles because of his speed, that's going to be a beautiful thing for them. But losing guys like Brandon Lau, the pop of Brandon Lau going to the Pirates, that's a little bit tricky. Obviously, they no longer have Shane Baz. We're going to get into the rotation in a second. Obviously, Pete Fairbanks as well. So they've had some incredible, tough losses when it came to players this offseason. And without further ado, we're going to get straight into their bullpen and their rotation. Let me see if I can put it on right here, actually. Let me see if this works. There you go. All right, so this is their rotation right here for the Tampa Bay Rays in 2026. They have Drew Rasmussen, Ryan Pepiot, Shane McClanahan. I haven't heard that name in a minute. Nick Martinez, and Steven Matz is currently scheduled to be their starting pitcher 5, which is actually really funny, to be honest with you. What do you think about this rotation before we get into the bullpen, obviously?
So, I mean, I'm not really confident in Steven Matz. I'll go from 5 through 1 just to make it interesting. I'm not really sold on Steven Matz. I feel like he hasn't been a consistent starter. He's been thrown into the bullpen. When he was with St. Louis and Boston, he really wasn't a starter. He was more of a long relief type of guy. Nick
Yeah.
Martinez was a nice move. I actually thought since he would retain him, but they, obviously they let him go, and now he's a Tampa Bay Ray. Shane McClanahan, I mean, the sky's the limit with this kid when he's healthy, but that's the problem. He's just never healthy, and he can't contribute to this rotation. And it's pretty crazy how he's a number 3 now, considered in this rotation, when he could have easily been a
The
number
ace.
1,
Yeah.
the ace. He could have been the ace if he just was healthy enough. And it's just really a shame that this kid really hasn't been able to turn it over. It has nothing to do with talent, has nothing to do with his stuff. Just it's literally a health issue. Brian Pepiot, it's as good as you're going to get, right? I mean, he's going to give you some good days, some bad days. It's going to be inconsistencies, I think, thrown in there. I think it's just going to be him having to find a good groove. And Drew Rasmussen has good stuff, but at the top of that rotation, I don't see him as a number 1. I think he should be where McClanahan is, but you can't put McClanahan in the 1 because he's just unreliable. So there's too many question marks right now with this starting rotation for me to feel any type of positivity when it comes to the starting 5.
Yeah, I still like Rasmussen. I think he's a very solid pitcher. I think they have solid pitchers all around. Same thing with Pepiot, but he does have levels of inconsistency he obviously deals with on a regular basis in a regular season. I do like the pickup of Nick Martinez. I think that's a sneaky good pickup for them because he's going to give you some quality starts. Shane McClanahan is becoming, at this point, one of the biggest what ifs, from looking like a Cy Young contender to obviously him having TJ and then having the bicep or whatever, the tricep injury, whatever it was last year in spring training. So he's become a big what if, and hopefully this is his year of a redemption mark, but it's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out. Steven Matz, I don't know why he's right now at their starting pitcher 5. I think that's a little bit funny, to be honest.
Yeah,
But
I didn't get that either.
yeah, I do like Drew Rasmussen though. Like I said, he's a very solid pitcher. Like worst things worse for the Rays if they have like a mediocre start to the year and they have to ship off pieces. You can maybe ship off a piece like Rasmussen, maybe Matz as well if he's looked at as a bullpen piece. So they do have intriguing pieces like that. Like you said, I think there's a lot of question marks in this rotation. For the first time, I feel like that in a Rays rotation after quite some time. And normally they always do good. And you know what? Maybe they'll go out there and pitch their ass off like sometimes they normally do. It's just their motto.
Yeah, it's possible.
But going into their bullpen now, I think it's a very fun bullpen looking at certain names. They have Edwin Uceta, Griffin Jacks, who they got from the Twins last year, Garrett Clevenger, Brian Baker. They do have some names here, some fun names. What do you think about this bullpen?
Well, I like their 8th and 9th inning. I think that's pretty solid. I think Griffin Jacks is somebody that has pretty decent amount of experience, and he could be a nice little 8th inning guy. And Evan, you said, has great stuff. I think he performed really well last year for the Rays, and he showed that he's got a great fastball and some nice off-speed pitches as well. The only problem to me with this bullpen right now, obviously the names aren't the sexiest of names, but the fact that Garrett Clevenger is their only lefty, I think they're a little too righty dependent in this bullpen right now, and I don't think they're good mixing and matching when it comes to maybe facing a big-time lefty, and the only guy that they have is Garrett Clevenger. So I think what they need to do is go out and get maybe one more lefty just to mix it up a little bit, or even maybe 2 more lefties, just so you have some left-handed depth. I think when you're too right-handed heavy in your pen, it just becomes a little bit of a problem when it comes to mixing and matching. I'd like to see what like a Yoendrys Gomez is going to be able to do as a long reliever / middle reliever type. So we'll just see what happens. I think they're going to really need good seasons out of Uceta and Jacks, though, in order for everybody else to get into a good groove. Because once those 2 guys aren't doing well, the middle of this bullpen's going to be overused. I think that could be a problem later on in the season.
Yeah, I do like Garrett Clevenger as well. He's representing Team USA in the WBC, actually, fun enough. I think this 8 and 9, even 7, pretty solid. If they want to bring Matz down and obviously replace him with maybe another opener, one of these guys could open for a few innings, I think that would actually be really smart, adding another, obviously, lefty into that bullpen. Because, I don't know, man. I'm not a big fan of it. We could go, MLB.com actually has a scheduled with Shane McClanahan as their ace, and then Rasmussen as their 2, Pepio as their 3, Matz as their 4, and then Martinez as their 5. So it looks like they're very set on Steven Matz starting, and I wonder what they see in that. Do they see him as like maybe a 4-inning guy, some guy that's going to deal with a good amount of bulk? Maybe I don't know. I don't know. It's a question mark to say the least. I'm not a big fan of that.
Me neither. And like I said, if Matz is going to be in this rotation, he should be 5th. I guess they're trying to just split the lefties there, bro. Maybe with McClanahan and Matz, they have a lefty, righty, lefty. I guess that makes sense in that regard. But I honestly, maybe you're right. Maybe they should go opener more and maybe go 2 or 3 innings with some long reliever like a Yoendrys Gomez. I think he could start, maybe give you 2 to 3 innings, and then maybe you could just make it a bullpen game after that. But I guess what they're doing is they're just trying to have the lefty depth in their rotation right now. That's what it looks like it's going on.
Yeah, I mean, going back to it, like their bullpen setup and closer, whoever it is, I feel very confident in that. I actually think it's a very underrated back end of the bullpen. These guys like Brian Baker, I know he was formerly an Oriole. I mean, they're going to have to prove themselves. Hunter Biggie, oh my gosh, these guys have the names of, wow. I don't know. I don't even know what to tell you right here. Cole, what does that say? Sulcer?
Cole Sulcer and Mason Englert.
Oh man, God. I mean, look, maybe they could do something that I'm not seeing, but look, I mean, I think that is a perfect transition right here to it's about that time. FanDuel, like I said, if you guys want to sponsor us here at JBM Sports Media, by all means, but it's about that time to go into the Tampa Bay Rays regular season win total projection, and the current line set by FanDuel is over under 76.5 wins. JB, I'll start off with you. What do you got for the Rays this year?
This one's actually kind of tough for me. I'm actually going to go under, bro. I know that might sound a little crazy because the Rays usually try to find a way to be successful. I think they just fall short of it and they get 73 wins this year. They go 73 and 89, I believe would be the record. So yeah, I think they do fall a little bit short. I think that the health of their starting pitching is going to come into question. Also, the consistency of that starting rotation will come into question at some point. Like I said, too many questions with the rotation and the bullpen, and then obviously if the offense starts to sputter, what does that mean? You could have a bad 3 weeks and be completely out of everything. The division, a wild card chance, and you look up and you're 50 games of the 500 and you're in last place. I think that could happen with this team. So I'm going to say that they go under and they win 73 games for 2026.
You know what? I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to go with the under, but I'm actually going to just pick them to go under. I'm going to go 76 wins for the Rays. So just not making it. I'm going to go 76-86. I do think there's a possibility, and even then, I'm trying to be a little bit nice with them, giving them the benefit of the doubt because they are the Tampa Bay Rays. They overachieve a lot of the times because they're a very well-run organization. So
every year they do.
I honestly would have went a little bit lower, maybe 74, 75, but I'm sticking with the under. But it's not an under I'm confident about because I know how this organization is run. I know how they could really, in a snap of a finger, they could actually bring 80 wins to the ball club. And it could be one of those things that they just have that mentality and they go on a little bit of a winning streak. So who knows how that happens? Obviously, we want to hear your guys' opinions. What do you guys think about the Tampa Bay Rays this year in 2026? Let us know in the comment section. As always, make sure to follow our IG and our YouTube, or subscribe here on YouTube, JBM Sports Media. Follow our TikTok and IG at JBM Sports Media. Till next time, we'll see you guys later. Peace.